Although the original 13 Dragon Ball Z movies were not written by Toriyama or adapted from any of his works, a number of the films introduced some very interesting concepts, and one of the more interesting ideas, in my opinion, was featured in Dragon Ball Z Movie 3. So on this Dragon Ball In Depth, let's talk about the concept, idea, and roots, pun intended, behind the Tree of Might.
この放送はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Even back in the 90s, the Tree of Might movie was one of the most popular of the Dragon Ball Z movies, probably because they actually chopped up the movie into 3 parts and showed it on syndication as episodes. But that's a video for another day. The actual idea of the Tree of Might itself was a fantastic MacGuffin. The English dub of Dragon Ball Z has always tried to avoid using extremely theological terms like God and demon and whatnot, so it's called the Shinseiju, which literally translates to the Tree of Godly Might, or the God Essence Tree, and its only appearance is in the Tree of Might movie, better known to the Japanese as Chikyu Marugoto Chokesen. In the film, Tullus' Crusher Corps, surviving pirates from planet Vegeta, discover that baby Kakaroto did not destroy the Earth as originally thought, and thus come to Earth to plant the Shinseiju once they realize that the Earth has a suitable biosphere for the tree to grow properly. The tree would begin to suck the life energy out of the entire planet and wither it down to a barren wasteland, and for hundreds of years, not even a single blade of grass would grow. We soon discover that the true purpose of the Tree of Godly Might was to bear potent fruit. It is said that whomever eats the fruit will be granted a power of a god. In the film, Tullus eats the fruit and gets an immediate power boost, so strong that not even a Kaioken times 10 could keep up. Later in the film, Goku attempts to form a Genkidama, but the energy from the earth was depleted. Goku then gathers energy from the tree itself, forms an even more powerful Genkidama from that energy, and destroys Tullus and the tree. So in the end, he who lives by the sword dies by the sword, and the Tree of Godly Might was Tullus' ultimate downfall. Now, what I love about this concept is the theological parallels behind it. In the Bible, the book of Genesis speaks of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which bore fruit that Adam and Eve were forbidden to eat. They would, of course, eat the fruit, disobeying God, creating sin, and thus came the fall of man. The idea of trees granting knowledge and power has been seen time and time again throughout history. In Norse mythology, they have the World Tree, otherwise known as the Yggdrasil. It tells us that Odin was able to gain knowledge by hanging himself from that tree for 9 days and 9 nights. The Holy Quran talks about the Tree of Zaqqum, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, which, quote, springs out of the bottom of hellfire and bears a bitter fruit that is fed to hungry people in hell and is powered by the flames of hell itself. Once you eat the fruit, your face falls off and your body melts. Ouch. Don't forget J.R.R. Tolkien's The Silmarillion, which is kind of a prequel/history book for The Lord of the Rings. It speaks of the 2 trees of Valinor that lit the earth in the First Age. And of course, in the video game realm, you see it time and time again, like the Deku tree in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and of course the Ifa tree in Final Fantasy IX. And I'm only scraping the surface. There's many, many more examples. Of course, the idea of the Earth having its own energy or life force to maintain balance in the ecosphere, or even being a living entity, is explored with the Gaia principle. And obviously, Shinseiju sucked it all up in the movie. Trees and the fruit that they bear are commonly associated with wisdom, knowledge, and hidden secrets. So it all kind of comes together like that. Now, in the Dragon Ball guidebook Daizenshu 6, we find out that the idea for the Shinseiju came from producer Kozo Morishita who was given an Asian ginseng that sucked up an entire field's nourishment and then gets larger. That's how he was able to think up the Shinseiju, the Tree of Godly Might. Little known fact though, that even though Toriyama did not write the story for the movie, he did design the Tree of Godly Might, as it is stated in JAYAIN 6. Of course, that wouldn't be the last tree that actually means something in Dragon Ball. Of course, don't forget the fact that the Shinjin, also known as the Kaios or the Makaios, the gods, are born from a tree as well. But again, that's a video for another day. So the point is, just because something is non-canon doesn't mean it automatically sucks or is a bad idea. Sometimes it can be pretty cool. And looking into the history of the Shinseiju, the Tree of Godly Might, and the influences behind it is pretty damn cool in my book. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll catch you down the road. Hey Super Tubers, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and spread the word about the channel, and find me on these social media platforms.